We finished up last week's session talking about how your peer relationships have a new significance for you. You find yourself moving outside your family relationships to develop a base of belonging by acceptance amongst your peers. Belonging by their acceptance of you. You're looking for them to find you acceptable as a member of the ways they group together. You want to be included in what's going on as one of them. Not an outsider, but one who belongs. So you form relationships. You make new friendships. How do you pick those new friends? You'll notice that you aren't looking for those who are quite different to yourself. Out of your awareness of yourself, of how you are, you unconsciously draw towards those who are like yourself. The same as the way you see yourself. One reason for that is to be comfortable with the other person. You're quite comfortable with yourself, you're used to how you are, and you won't find it hard to deal with that other person who is like you. Another reason is that you're confident that you can handle the person who is the same way that you are. After all, friends are people who feel very comfortable and confidently relaxed together. So you choose your friends. Next, you'll be choosing the experiences that you'll have with those friends. Now, experiences have follow-ons or consequences, things that happen following on from your choices. Some good things that happen and some bad things. And those things go back to the choice that you made. So we have to talk about choices because of the consequences that follow from the choices that you make. Now, we could say this about choices. Your good choices are good and right because of the good consequences to that choice. So that allows us to say your bad choices are the ones that are followed by bad consequences. Right choices, good consequences. Wrong choices, bad consequences. And those consequences are matters of experience. So through the consequences, you'll experience how right or wrong your choices were. Now, does that mean that you have to experiment with different choices to see what the consequences will be, to enable you to learn about making good and right choices? Like finding out that fire burns by choosing to stick your finger in the flames. If so, you could get hurt quite a lot if that's the only way to learn about right choices. But of course it isn't. There's other people's experience. There is their history that you can learn from, as well as creating your own history of experience, because after all, history is just the record of experience. What happened, and when, and how, and why. You are building up your own personal history of experience, as well as learning about other people's history. We say the burnt child dreads the fire. That means the child who had an experience of getting burnt by a fire dreads the consequence of choosing to go near the fire. Now, are you going to run your life only by your own experience of choice and consequence? Are you, for instance, going to see if you can choose to use drugs and suffer no harmful consequences? Or are you prepared to learn from other persons' experience? And what about choosing to drink and drive? Can you learn from the consequences that other people have suffered as a result of their choice?
What say they catch us, eh?
Don't think about it.
Yeah, if we do it, we're in. They could be playing us for fools.
This is the business.
Yeah, we'll get our pitch.
It's all I ever wanted. So then we do it.
We do it. What would your uncle reckon?
He's a fool.
Yeah, he's old school. He used to be the priest.
Used to.
I say do it.
Yeah, bro. Are you in?
I guess. We done everything else together.
Let's go again.
Been over it already.
Yeah, I said again.
We made you the priest.
Just do it, man.
I know what I gotta do.
Are you in or not?
Yeah, I'm in.
Well, do it. You told me. Got to go already, sonny.
You can't count on me. Don't forget to pump up the tires, bro.
Now, shut it.
You want another man?
We're not stealing the bloody club. We're doing the TAB.
I'll go get the gun. Wait up. Make sure we have to take it.
Oh, what are we gonna do? Wave around a hanky? We don't want any trouble. All we want is your money, please.
Oh, it's just all one fellow.
Yeah, he's got this.
What about you, bro?
I'm not the one looking for excuses.
I'll do it. Give me the gun. I'll even use it if I have to.
It won't come to that.
Whatever it comes to, it comes to.
Yeah, all good, good. All good.
How's it going, boys?
Good. Good.
What's going down?
Not much.
It's not what I heard. I heard you're gonna take the blood.
And where did you hear that?
Like I told your old man. I'll be looking out for you, boys. We'll be alright.
I guess that's it then, eh?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, hang on, boys. I'll tell you a story, eh? It's about this kid. He was not much older than you. Met these people. They gave him drugs, girls. Oh yeah, they made him feel real good. And one day, these people, they asked him to do a few favors. Sell a bit of weed, odd birds. No big deal. Till one day, he said, "You are ready for the big league." And they gave him a gun. This kid, he walked into the bank and he pulled the trigger. Just like on TV. Only the blood was real blood sticking to him. Then he sees it. He's looking at his face. And it's not a face anymore. It's all blown apart. That's what he sees, boys. That's what he saw. Every time they turned the light off on his cell. Every time. Who was he? No one special.
ACC has been working with a number of Maori communities right throughout Aotearoa, New Zealand, trying to identify what we can do as an organisation to help Maori have fewer accidents and to reduce the impact and severity of accidents on Maori people. One of the areas we've identified for really special attention is on the motor vehicle area, where a lot of young Maori end up having quite severe motor vehicle accidents. And I guess we're delighted to be associated with this video because it really demonstrates quite emotionally the impact a motor vehicle accident can have on one individual, one family, one community, but really the whole of the people of Aotearoa. We're delighted to be associated with the Runanga to bring this video to you. Thank you.
Māori are people with mana, pride and spirit, wairua. As a warrior people, they were once disciplined with the skills of war, hunting and protecting their whānau. Māori have their own unique values and practices, tikanga, and these are inherently tied in with their cultural identity, whakapapa. It was important for Māori to know where they came from, and to seek ancestral knowledge was to secure a future with a sense of destiny and a purpose in life. Today, many Māori have alienated themselves from their culture. This has thrown their lives out of balance, and they have neglected Māori values and customs. Only Māori can truly understand Māori consciousness and experience the reality of what it is to be Māori. Māori are overrepresented in all statistical data, including unemployment and crime. Māori also feature grossly in road crashes caused by drink driving. This story is about Tamati Paul, a young man whose life was destroyed by a drunken Māori driver. Tamati was searching for his roots and found this in kapahaka. He found a sense of destiny, his purpose in life. This gave him the inner strength to become a very competitive athlete with a bright future ahead. Tamati had a special love for wakaama, outrigging. He had won several gold medals in the national and international competitions, and he was a member of the New Zealand Inland Rescue Boat Team.
I think we won 2 out of 3 races at the New Zealand titles, which was a really good effort. Huge surfers at Mount Maunganui. Guys were going to hospital all the time. Came home that year, and then we just decided we were going to get to the top. And Tama was a real driving force behind it. You know, he wanted to be there training all the time. He was pushing me hard for training, which always helps because it's hard to get going. In '96, we actually got named in the New Zealand squad. There's only a team of 4 crews throughout New Zealand.
Tamati was a very, very dedicated, passionate trainer.
When it came into fitness, was just overbearing. He used to push me so hard over the edge. I was just about to tip off. You know, it was just amazing. He's amazing when it comes to training.
Tamati had dreamed of representing his country in kayaking. He was a multi-talented sportsman, and one of his winning strengths came from his son Kama. Tamati had also been accepted to train as a policeman.
It was here along this road that Tamati and his whānau were travelling from Gisborne towards Tolaga Bay. The drunk driver who had been on a weekend drinking binge was driving towards Gisborne, and it was here on this corner where Tamati's dreams were smashed away. Tamati swerved the car to protect his family and take the full impact of the crash onto himself. Such was the force of the crash that both cars had turned completely around to face the direction they'd been travelling from.
Tamati was what we called in a critical condition. He had serious head injury, he had massive leg injuries, he had other injuries to the rest of his body. All of those were critical injuries that he could have lost his life at any time. And we had to work very hard to keep him alive till we could get him to hospital so the doctors could work their magic basically with him.
I went to the police station to find out, and they told me that he was being flown in by helicopter, and that's when I realised how serious it was. It wasn't until 1:30 in the morning that we were allowed to go and see him. And we all walked in. We all saw my baby. My beautiful little baby. And all these machines helping to keep him alive. And I was thinking it may be my last time when I get to touch him. It was very hard.
Tamati's injuries were extensive. He was transferred to Waikato Hospital for major surgery and specialist care.
He had suffered extensive head injuries. He had bled for 90 minutes. 90 minutes of no oxygen getting to his brain. Not even 24 hours, an infection had already set into his body, into the broken parts. And his first operation took 16 hours.
The drunk driver had a 15-year history of drink driving. He had been convicted for drinking and driving 3 times, and 4 times while driving disqualified. The last time he was sent to prison. On the night of the crash, he was a disqualified driver. His blood alcohol level was more than 3 times the legal limit. He died at the crash scene.
Well, the national stats tell us that drink driving remains the major cause of fatal and serious injury crashes amongst Māori, especially young Māori men. This is certainly the trend in the Tairāwhiti district, and unfortunately for Tamati Paul, he is one of the victims of those statistics. The young hoons that race around town don't feature highly in the drink drive statistics. There's no real profile that fits a drunk driver. They come from all walks of life. There are some people who continue to drink and drive no matter how many times they get caught.
Let's go.
And 2 days later they needed to operate again because they had found more infection. And this was a real big decision for us because they gave us a 50-50 chance of him surviving.
There was no doubt in our minds that he will pull through. We had to think positive.
We let him know that we are present at all times. And whenever I'm at his bedside and I've run out of anything to talk about, I pick up a book and read it from cover to cover. I see his waka paddle hanging on the wall, decorating his room. So I pick it off the wall and place his hands on top of the paddle, like so, and I move the paddle up and down very slowly. He acknowledges it by a slight twitch or a press on the finger. We do notice that it does upset the monitor.
Many young Māori look forward to the party and a good skull after a game of rugby or league. Getting pissed after a game is a part of the sporting culture, and young children are often connected to their scene. They drink hard and fast, and playing sculling games is often a feature of the evening's events. They drink until they're wasted, and when the booze is all gone, they go looking for more. Too out of it and too pissed to care, they get behind the wheel and take the risk of being caught. The ones who continually escape the system eventually end up crashing, injuring, or killing someone.
We have a car, we have 3 patients, one is deceased, one has critical head injuries, chest injuries, second patient serious head.
One of the worst jobs that police perform is informing the next of kin that a family member has been killed in a car crash. Sometimes family members are advised by police not to view the deceased body because of the horrific injuries sustained as a result of a motor vehicle crash.
I can see my handsome son's long blonde hair and his back, and that's the thought I wake up with every day is the back end of him, being able to see his back of his head and his long hair and his body slammed into the front of a dash. Mentally it's very shattering, because like most mornings for me it's get up like before everyone else at about 6 in the morning, and then I try and get an hour to myself to just think about him and cry him out for the day and remember about the children I have got left here with me and try and survive for them. And it's like you become a really good actor within yourself, because you know you really want to lie down and die, but you got to keep on keeping on for the kids that are still here. You know, you can't lie down and die, even though you'd like to.
He was ready to come home, but the difficulties we had with him, we found it very hard, and it was very hard for Tamati too, because it was very painful in the way we used to have to put him on a 4x2 in the bathtub. Or we had to manoeuvre the chair in such a position, and then we had to call in reinforcements to help us to get Tamati out of the wheelchair and into the toilet.
After he's done his business, because he is not able to do it himself, I clean his bottom. After Tamati had been at home for a number of weeks, he said, this wheelchair is not the life for me, I want out.
Somebody's crash, it caused our family to go financially down. It was really hard.
His stance was that of true Nazi pro, standing wide, flat-footed, but with plenty of strength. And I think that in itself gave him the inner strength to deal and cope with the accident that he had later.
Our family ties, our love that we have for each other had a lot to do with Tamati's recovery. We know that strongly.
He's not only going to stop where he is now, he's only going to get better and better, because you can only go one way, and that's up.
Look at what Tamati's doing today. He's been touched by some of the worst traumas that a young fella can have in his short life. And what is he doing? He's not lying down crying and feeling sorry for himself. No, he's got stronger, and he wants to give his message to you out there. We can do better. We are strong. We are a race of people that are fighters, and we're not going to lie down and say, I give up. To me, he's going to be a leading light in helping our young people find that firm footing on the rough road ahead.
And I know people that are out there that have got everything together but haven't got the power and the mental drive that he's got.
I must say, I do love them. I love them so much. My whole family, and my own family, I love them so much for sacrificing themselves. Their love heals. It's awesome having Kama here when he's back, because I kind of feel like a father, I feel like a dad, and I don't feel that when he's not here, and I kind of really feel like I get when he's here.
Just remember where you come from, because if you can remember where you come from, you know your identity, and that is from your tipuna, no matter where across this country. And once you know that and identify that, the drinking and the drug is just a passing phase in every young people's life.
Drive carefully and have a safe driver. That life is precious and you only get one chance at it.
Take control of what you are consuming, and don't let what you are consuming take control of you.
Don't drink and drive, my friend. I have to start again. Shattered all my dreams. Turn my life around. My whole life has changed. My world. Don't drink and drive, my friend. I have to start again. Shattered all my dreams. It turned my life around. Here we go. We got something to say. We got something to do. I said, who's driving you home tonight? Who's taking the key? Just think carefully. Have you got a safe driver? Are you thinking ahead? You gonna make it home, or would you rather be dead?